legendary car porn racing, which is home to some of the sweetest renovations you'll ever set your eyes on.
Not to mention, we got back-to-back races coming up, from the F4 Championships held here in the Philippines to the Classic Mini Championships, wherein Rian Ramos actually raced. How about that?
And I'll even give you a look-see of my own little mini.
So buckle up and don't get left behind. My name is Sam YG.
I'm Rian Ramos, and this is Full Throttle. Leg of the Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championships went full blast at the Clark International Speedway last October 13th.
I'm looking forward to this race because it's Philippines. I like the track here.
Racers were in their elements as they prepped for what could possibly be their ticket to Formula 1.
The FIA, the world body of motorsport, wanted to create a professional steps on a ladder from karting to F1, and F4 is the first step on that. After F4 is F3 and F2, but F4 is the first step after karting, designed for 15-year-olds to transition from karting into a former car career and provide a professional, highly motivated and highly qualified championship to teach them and educate them where to go in motorsport. I think the highlight is race 6 tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock, because it's a reverse grid and it's going to be really, really exciting, because the fast drivers who won the previous race will be at the back of the grid, and they're going to come through and try to win in 10 laps. So it's going to be really good TV.
It's I would say it's the most entry-level professional motorsports series that you can join past go-karting. So after go-karting is F4, because F4 is the latest creation of the FIA, which is the racing body, which does F1, GP2, GP3.
You know, any driver who is 15 to 65 and he goes through the FIA F4 Academy and qualifies, so you can qualify, if you're 35 you can qualify through the academy, or if you're a 15-year-old and you have done 3 or 4 years of karting, you can get your National C license on an event basis, and once you do 12 races you can get your open license.
We caught up with first-timer Gabe, youngest of the bunch, to join the race.
I've been go-karting for 5 years, so I think now is a good time for me to move up in my racing career. I want to get better also. The competition level here in F4 is really high also, because there are a lot of international drivers, and that's what kind of makes steps my game up. It's gonna be a dogfight for a podium finish. Mas nagaganaan ako to win, siyempre, because like home soil. I've raced on this track, not raced, but I mean, I've been here a few times also, and in go-karts we race the West Course, so I kind of know this track kind of well, and a lot of people are expecting a lot from me also, because it's my first F4 race also. I was doing pretty good in my karting career, so a lot of people are expecting a win, but I mean, for me, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself.
challenge for me is the physical fatigue. So obviously I've ripped my hands, I have blisters, I have bruises already, and mentally following all the younger, faster drivers, it's very different because the way they think is like they brake way later.
It's really different when you're in a Formula car because like it's really fast in the corners, more aerodynamic, the brakes are stronger. So there was a lot of practice and like analyzation we had to go through. Feeling because my goal this weekend was just a podium finish, but to win a race here also, I don't know what to say. I'm just really happy. The rain played a big factor. I'm a lot more confident with my driving.
It wasn't just Gabe who bagged a medal. Car enthusiast and drifter Angie King placed third too.
It feels amazing because I wasn't expecting to win. I was just trying to pace and finish the race. The rain got really strong. It was very difficult to drive, and one by one all the other racers came off the track, and I was just like, oh my god, it's getting dangerous. But again, I paced myself and I finished the race, and lo and behold, I got third place. It's such an awesome feeling.
Talk about bringing home the bacon.
You just need to sacrifice a lot. Don't expect it's gonna be easy. You have to really work for it.
It's gonna paint it white. But
up next, from the racetrack, Angie King shows us her brainchild, car porn racing, where all the magical renovations happen. Keep it locked here on Full Throttle. From racing cars to tearing them apart and building whole new beauties, let's check out Angie King's infamous world, car porn racing.
So this is the main work area. The office is up there behind you, and all the magic will happen in this area. Car porn racing started about 5 years ago. It was a project. Well, it was sort of just my garage back then, because we were heavily into drifting, and then we needed a place to park the drift cars and fix them. Prior to car porn racing, I used to go to most of the car shops around the metro. I started car porn racing because it got to the point where people wouldn't do the work I had. The idea I had, nobody okay, that's too hard, or it's going to take too long, or it's too expensive. So that's where it drove me to be like, okay, I might as well open my own shop and do it myself, because everyone else is telling me it can't be done, it's impossible, it's going to be too expensive. It's like, okay, let me figure it out myself, and hence car porn racing was born. Now we have an oven paint booth where we can get to bake the car and produce cars faster. And on the right, which you don't see right now, we have a four-wheel dyno. So a dyno is a machine that they use to check wheel horsepower, and we use it to tune the car. Car porn in general offers everything. Anything you can think of, we can do. The main products that we are famous for are the RWBs, which is the Rowell peg grip. It's our partnership with Nakai from Japan, and we also do a lot of air suspension. So essentially, when you spend money to make your car look good, you want it to be low, but you want it to be usable also. So the air suspension makes sense. The air suspension marries the ideas of having a practical car, yet it looks good when you park it, and then you can still bring it into the malls, into high street parkings, in a hub village, and it essentially saves your investment.
There's more to car porn racing than their trademark air suspension systems. Each vehicle is carefully handled and thoughtfully revamped, depending on the needs of the client.
We also have the variable exhaust we call Varex. It's an Australian product where there's an exhaust flap right inside the exhaust. So I live in a village and I don't want to piss off my neighbors. This exhaust allows you to turn the flap so that it keeps the car quiet when you start it. And then as soon as you get into the highway, you can open the flap and it's noisy again. Essentially, we bring in a lot of products where there's some practicality to it. It's not just all performance.
Thanks.
Every car you see here is like all custom parts that we need to bring in because no one stocks it.
It's fun for sure, but is it easy?
A lot of the work that we do isn't done in every other shop. So even though we get experienced people, sometimes they still will hit a wall because they don't know how to do something and we gotta figure it out for them. So hiring good people and skilled laborers is always going to be a difficult part. My favorite project so far to date obviously will be my Corvette project, which we call the Black Manta. That's the one we're bringing to SEMA. That's the one we're showing off on the global market scale.
With better things ahead for car porn racing, Angie is as proud of her team as she is with the cars that they produce.
This is something I stuck to throughout the years where I kept thinking of projects that have never been done and is unique to us, which would give the car shop that credibility that, we're not just imitators, we're actually industry leaders where we think of projects and we make it.
Learning from Nakai-san's meticulous ways in creating his car, that's where we pick up a few pointers on how precise and fine he wants the cars to be and how detailed his adjustments are to the car. These details translate to our customer satisfaction, and with that it helps us build higher quality cars than we did before.
This is RWB number 1. This is Victoria. It's named after my company, Victoria Court. We built the car way back in 2000. I don't remember. 2013, and it's globally popular because of its unique color. Weirdly enough, when we asked Nakai from RWB, we asked Nakai like, what color haven't you done before? It's like, that color. I'm like, perfect, keep it. So we've kept it and it's become my signature color ever since then. Working with Nakai-san has been, he's helped bring up the quality of the shop. He's given us like knowledge that you'll never learn from other people. Nakai shows that his products withstand endurance racing. It actually is functional. A lot of people don't realize most of the products that go on the market now are all for looks, and it's very sad because the idea of putting something on to make it look good is cool, but if it looks good and it actually performs well, then that's even better. Restoration work also. So as you can see with this yellow 911, we are restoring it for the client. We don't always modify everything, so this is going back to an original state, interestingly enough. A lot of people think we just cut and change everything. No, we know how to restore also.
After the break, we'll take you deeper into Angie's brainchild. Angie's obsession with cars was undeniable even as a kid.
I bought my first car when I was 15. It was a Volkswagen Super Beetle. My dad helped me obviously get it because I was underage. Even from an early age, I already had ideas with the car because my dad would buy magazines and I would like that, I like that, I like that. And he was helping me build my first car. So the Volkswagen, we literally tore it up at home and we had people coming in. So after school, I get to help out with the tinsmiths, the painters, the mechanics. So, Volkswagen is essentially very simple. Once you take the body off, you drop the engine, everything's in front of you. So it took me a long while though, but we eventually finished the Volkswagen and I had to sell it because I didn't like driving it anymore because it was so slow. But this was my dad's car. This is my favorite car in the Philippines. And you know, I love it to pieces because definitely my dad used to drive it around.
When your shop is charging more than the cost of the original car, you can expect to be handed back a car that's way better.
You know, some of our project builds end up costing as much as the car. So it's, you know, it's a very interesting paradigm. Before we started, people would never cut that car behind you because it's a collector car, it's already worth $3.5 million. And here we are, we're gonna cut the car and we're gonna charge you the same amount of the car to put on your car, and you're gonna be happy about everything. And weirdly enough, people pay us money to do this, and we've been really good at it. We were trying to get into the car industry without stepping on other people's feet. So we wanted to bring in products where no one's seen these certain products, you know, stuff like air suspension, RWB, V8 transplants. We wanted to be known as a leader in our own field rather than trying to steal other people's clientele.
Evidently, all cars coming in will surely come out looking great.
The team here at Carport worked very hard to make sure that all the cars come out very pristine looking. I mean, you can see the cars behind us. These are 20-year-old cars, but they look like they're off the showroom floor because, you know, we take pride in our work, and a lot of people send us their babies because they know that, you know, we take care of them.
It's like a human body, you know. If you get sick, like normally a person gets sick, it's the same thing. The cars get sick also. Sometimes the suspension gets sick, like your legs get tired when you work out too much. For example, your heart, when you have heartaches, the engine also suffers. So it's the same thing.
Each of my clients, I always want them to feel satisfied. Like when they get in the car, you know, looking at a car and appreciating it from outside is one thing. But when they actually get in the car and go home and, you know, show it to their friends or bring it to the track, and they feel like we've done a job which is comparison to the factory. I have this whole philosophy where when we touch a car, it should be like the factory touched it. It should be OEM, like original equipment manufacturer.
Angie's works of art prove that their goal is to really show off how unique every single car is, with each mirroring its owner.
A lot of people recognize me from the purple hair, and they know like we built some amazing cars in the Philippines, and they're like, "That's in the Philippines?" I'm like, "Yes, that's in the Philippines."
The whole transformation process of these cars is somehow a reflection too of what she's been going through, and she's taking it with pride.
I've always enjoyed, you know, not just in cars. Like my wife hates me for this because I like remodeling the house. You know, I guess like my brain is programmed in such a way that I'm always thinking of like new stuff and changes and all that. So weirdly enough, I guess it aligns to who I am now. We're trying to push the industry in that sense where you be original. Like don't, you know, you can get inspiration from everyone else, but at the end of the day, like make something that's yours so that you can be proud and say like, we made that.
At F4 race, something else. You know, seeing all that action in the Philippines in Clark National Speedway was, you know, quite a sight.
I was definitely lucky to have been there and to be racing on the same days. And even if you were sitting on the ground, you knew where the cars were because you could see the water splashing everywhere.
There you go, a week of racing and a bit of repairs here and there. Hope you guys enjoyed Full Throttle. My name is Sam YG.
I'm Rian Ramos, and this has been Full Throttle. Don't get left behind.